Today, on the Bearded Movie Guy looks at The Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's twice the amount of Amazing Spider-Man than the first one. Is it good? Let's find out. Hi, I'm the Bearded Movie Guy, and today we're looking at The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I saw this on the weekend with my daughter. Let's look at what it's about. Amazing Spider-Man 2 takes place a little while after The Amazing Spider-Man 1, which wasn't really called 1, but it was, you know what I mean. It's a continuing story of Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and his ongoing journey to find out what the heck happened to his dad and date Gwen Stacy, even though he doesn't want to, but he really wants to, and he doesn't want to. Yeah, it made me tired. So he's Spider-Man, and he's web swinging, and he's doing all the fun stuff that he normally does. And he's graduating high school and going to university, and his aunt is becoming a nurse, and his best friend from childhood, Harry Osborn, has come back to town to find out his dad is dying, and that he is now going to be the CEO of Oscorp, the evil corporation from the first movie. Now, tied in all this, there's a plot with this guy named Electro that happens because a big, huge Spider-Man fan, played by Jamie Foxx, falls into a bunch of electric eels and becomes this super powerful guy named Electro who is all made of energy. He then has a crisis because he wants to be famous and Spidey takes the spotlight, so he decides to then turn on Spider-Man. Now, that's kind of the plot, really. There's not much to it, and it's really disjointed. But it's a fun movie. Let's look at what's good. The action scenes are very well done. Spidey looks awesome, swinging around New York, doing the double web shooters and flying, and you know, it's awesome. The opening action scene is pretty darn cool. It has Spider-Man stopping a robbery on a truck, and he's pulling one-liners and doing funny things and being awesome and catching canisters with his foot because it's sticky. It's typical Spider-Man, and it's really good way to open the kind of action part of the film. He's also late for his graduation, so that's fun. They got him right for all his action bits, what he looks like when he's swinging and jumping and being funny. That all worked again. Andrew Garfield is the best Spider-Man I've ever seen. I did like Tobey Maguire, although the crying just drove me nuts, but Andrew Garfield is like 10 times better than Tobey Maguire. Sorry, Tobey. Tear. Tobey tear. He's great as Peter Parker, he's awesome as Spider-Man, and he's totally believable. Let's look at the rest of the cast. Emma Stone, again, was good as Gwen Stacy, no problem. For what she was given to do, which wasn't much, but, you know, it was, I love Peter, but I don't want to be with Peter. I love Peter, I don't want to be... It was like a tennis match. Then there's Dane DeHaan. Dane DeHaan's a pretty new actor, only come out in the last couple of years that most people have seen him, but he has really got some serious chops for a young guy in acting. And he looks like he's going to be a very good talent for years to come. He was really good as Harry Osborn. And Sally Field was Sally Field. Although, there was an argument about underwear that just was weird. The rest of the story is kind of like, this is a quick origin of Electro. He becomes Electro. He's a bad guy. Spider-Man stops him. And then he goes away and comes back later in the film. And Harry Osborn's dying and needs Spider-Man's help. And he gets angry because Spider-Man doesn't help him, even though he begs. And Peter and Gwen basically can't decide if they want to be together or not be together or move to England, possibly. Cheerio. All this balances with Spider-Man being Spider-Man. Now, that was all good and fine. The plot is very, like I said, chopped up. It could have been handled much smoother. And there was this whole thing thrown in there with Peter's dad where there's this huge mystery about why he went away and all this stuff that just seemed really not necessary. It should have taken up 1 minute of the film, but it took up like 25 minutes. And then there's this whole secret layer in a subway thing that makes no sense whatsoever because I don't know where you got the money to build that, but that's another story. I'll talk about that in the spoiler video. This is a bit of a long running time. It's just under 2.5 hours, but it is entertaining. My daughter came with me. She enjoyed most of it. There was a really harsh scene near the end. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about exactly. She was very broken up about it. She was crying. And when I had mentioned the fact that I knew it was coming, she says, "Why didn't you tell me?" Sorry. Well, it does have some darker moments for a kid's movie. And also has some light moments that are nice. Overall, Spider-Man was fun. I'm going to do a spoiler video because there's so much I'd like to talk about, which I can't talk about because I'd ruin it for you if you haven't seen the movie. It's worth seeing. It's not great. It's like a smidge better than the first one, only because the first one was an origin story that we'd seen before. It's still got some really silly moments, and some of the dialogue is all over the place and really cheesy. All in all, I give Amazing Spider-Man 2 3 beards. It's the same as the first one. You could give it like a smidge of a beard, like just a couple of beard hairs more, just because you didn't have to go through the origin again. But it's not a great movie, but it's a fun movie. Your kids will most likely like it. You'll enjoy it, but it's not going to rock your world. You're never going to be talking about this thing 3 years later. Only maybe in comparison to the next Spider-Man movie, which is basically setting up. So if you like this, click subscribe, like, do all the Twitter, Facebook stuff, at Bearded Movie Guy. And until next time, stay bearded, everyone. You've been watching The Bearded Movie Guy. So, are you going to see Amazing Spider-Man 2? Have you already seen it? Do you agree with The Bearded Movie Guy? I don't know. He is pretty controversial. Comment and tell us who your favorite Spider-Man villain is. Or character. And as always, YouTube safely.